5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. There we go. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Hello.
So I asked these beautiful women, Satu and Leandra, how they were doing before this, and Satu said, "I'm good weird," and I said, "Well, that's better than weird good. You know, good weird is good weird." So there you go. One of the many side effects of this journey of consciousness. Yes.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. So you are both phenomenal access consciousness facilitators. It's interesting for me also in that truly is an acknowledgement. I know you both to be ones who truly empower people, and so I would like that to be an acknowledgement. And also, you have the bars. Now, what's a foundation?
Something weird, I would say.
Good weird. Is it good weird?
I'd say it's a good weird. At times it can be weird, but in the end, I'd say it's good weird.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the compliments at the beginning. Thank you, Brendon. I receive. And yes, the foundation is this sort of undefinable 3.5 days that one can put themselves through. And at the end of that, have a totally different way of looking at themselves in the world. So it's hard to put words to what it is.
I totally get that. But that was part of the gift for me, was that it was undefinable. Like, you know, I'd done all the things where it's like, okay, at 9 a.m. you're going to do this, and at 10 a.m. we're going to do this, you know, and it was totally structured. And this I was like, what the hell am I signing up for? You know, and I had no idea. And I'm so grateful. And it's interesting now, you know, we just finished, there was a class in Access called Source and Sorcery. And that to me was a weird class. I was just like, this is so undefined, this space. But I also, you know, once you make a choice like that, you're on this journey, and it consciousness seldom makes sense. Yeah. It's just, and that's one of the things I just love about it. Things show up in the strangest ways when you're willing to make different choices.
Yeah. It's interesting you start with that, because I actually, when I took the foundation first time, I had no idea what it is. I just knew I had to do it. And I did it in Spanish. And I don't speak Spanish. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So even during the class, I couldn't really define it, but I got so much change out of it. So I guess like the less we need to define things, the more change we can actually also get from all this.
I love that. I didn't know that. And what I love about that also is what you said, you just knew you had to be there. And because I've seen people come along like that, and they're like, they don't speak any English and there's no translation in their language, and they'll come along anyway to this class. But what an acknowledgement of you also, that I just knew I had to be there.
Yeah. And I also recently had somebody, because I facilitate quite a lot in Finnish, and had somebody who doesn't really speak any Finnish. She's from Slovenia. She joined a class in Finnish. And at first I was like, my God, like what are you doing? And then I was like, oh, wait a second. I did that too, and it was okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. And, you know, talking about first time, I was living in Brazil. I live in Ireland now. So I am Brazilian. I was living in Brazil 10 years ago, 9 years ago. And I did my first class with Norma. She's the Brazilian translator. Yeah. And it was like you guys. I just knew I had to do the class. I had no idea what it was. I had done my bars class, and I hated it, but somehow it was working. And then I was like, but I'm going to keep going, because there's something there.
Wait. Did you hated the bars class, or you
I hate it.
Really? I love hearing stuff like this where people are just like, I hate this class, but I need more of it.
And I need further. I need more days and a different setting. So yeah, I
Sorry,
hate
I
bars,
interrupted you, but
but
I had to just check on that. That was awesome.
but then of course I love the bars because I teach the bars and I receive bars weekly and I run bars. I saw the gift, but jumping to foundation, it was similar because it was something that changed. So after doing my foundation class, I totally got the clarity of I needed to change countries and move and change whatever I was working with. So it's a gift in many ways.
That's so cool. But also I want to explore that energy a little bit of when you like, because I've had that so many times as well, where I'm like, man, I just and you've got that, that energy of you want to avoid something, you want to resist it, but you have to choose it.
Yeah.
And having that with the bars, oh my God, I can't believe I hate this, but I need more of it.
I recently had somebody at a body process class, and she's been coming to classes some time, and she said, in the beginning, I really hated you. I did not want to have anything to do with you. I definitely did not want to come to any of these classes, but then somehow I did, and I am so glad I did.
Oh my God, that's
Love
just
it.
so wonderful. Yeah,
Very cool.
that also. I don't have many words today. It's interesting, but that energy of like just that. Like I was having a conversation with somebody this morning actually, and she was like, "Well, I don't know what it is that I desire," and I was like, "Okay, is that actually true, or do you know exactly what it is that you desire, but you don't want to know that you know it, because if you knew that you know it, you would actually have to choose." And I only, one of the things I love about facilitating is I've done all of this stuff. Like I've been that person. I'm just going, I don't know what it is that I desire, but one of the things that I would do is I would be so clever energetically that I could find the people to have in my life that would create it for me. And I remember when I first started realizing that.
Like a piece of pizza.
No, thank you.
Pizza. Oh. I remember when I first started realizing that, I thought it was just so judgeable. Like, how could I do that? And then what I did next was I tried to hide it from myself. So it becomes this agenda that I have that I keep hidden from myself, which is the thing running my life. What if, coming along to something different like Access truly is where all of you is included, all of your insanities, all of those, things that you've tried to keep hidden from yourself, all of the things that you hide from yourself that you don't even know you have hidden from yourself, which is the best ones because they're the ones that really fuck you up, but it's like, but man, you got to get to a point for yourself where you're like, enough of trying to exclude all of these parts and pieces of me in order to seem like I have my shit together or I have it right.
Yeah. And it's in the bars class video where Dane actually says that anything that you're willing to bring up, you can change.
Yep.
And he continues with, even if it's really hard for you, but what if you cared so much for you that you still bring it up?
I love that part too. It's like, all right, I have a question. Okay, I got a good question along those lines. Would the two of you say that consciousness is a comfortable and easy journey?
No. Yes, it is. Let's know more. Yeah, it's totally is.
Hey, we're inviting people to it right now, so let's lie to them.
Let's lie to them. Yeah, totally. No, it's not
Easy and comfortable.
Super. But the cool thing about the foundation with when we look at those places, but we also add our bodies. So you're going to receive a body process. and two different ones. So you're including your body through that change, through everything that's going on with you. And that to me is a big gift. But how many of you have done workshops where it was only talk, let's try and change, and your body was just not taken care of? So the foundation has this space for the body to really receive. You can have your bars run and you can receive the body processes. And that's a huge gift.
Yeah, truly. Yep. Not comfortable and not easy. Is that what we got to?
It's really funny how the first time I took the foundation class, and like I said, it was in Spanish. I didn't really know what they were saying, but it was really working on me a lot. And then I think it was maybe the third day I was walking to the class and I was like, I want to fucking kill everyone. And I just looked at everyone like, do not talk to me. I will kill you. It was so intense. I was so angry. It was just bringing up all these things in my life that I was like, what have I been doing? And then I went to the class and the facilitator says, okay, so let's start with the body process. I was like, you're gonna
Don't
make
touch me.
somebody touch me? And then she picked our partners for us. And she picked this. I was like, this guy. No. I didn't know him. But just had this such resistance to him. And then the facilitator is like, oh, Satu, so I think you could work with him. I'm like, you're fucking kidding me? And then I was like, okay, that's so uncomfortable. There's something here that I'm really resisting. And I kind of theoretically know that under all those uncomfortable parts, that's where the real magic is. So I'm going to receive it. And I went to the table, really pushed my walls and barriers down and allowed this guy run the body process on me. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever been that happy in my entire life up until that point. It was so blissful, so amazing. And, I don't even know exactly what that energy was that it brought up, but I was so resisting to it. It was really uncomfortable. But when I went through it, my goodness, that was such a gift. And he was also very happy. We're both like, oh my God, what did we do?
But that I mean, you try and make sense of that. And it's like, and that's the thing, the thing that you said about you really pushed your walls and barriers down, that alone, push the willingness to receive, the willingness to push down your walls and barriers. When somebody upsets you and you go to fight or you go to separate or you go to anger or you go to any of those things, the courage that it takes to be present, to actually push your walls and barriers down and show up anyway. That's, to me, it's one of the most admirable things when somebody's willing to be present, even in the face of everything they want to do to separate. Yeah, that's just beautiful. And so on that, because I want to see if we explore a little bit more of this thing of it making absolutely no sense, but also the energy that you just showed with the two of you coming together. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine a week or two ago, and I was just I couldn't seem to get to all of this awareness. It's I don't know if you guys ever have this where it's you feel like you're aware of this whole universe, but there's a screen between you and it. You're just you're poking out, you're trying every way to get around it, and you're like, oh, and that was me, But here's a great tool for anyone listening. These 4 questions: what is this? What do I do with it? Can I change it? If so, how do I change it? And not looking for an answer from those questions, simply being in those questions. And so I was asking those, and then I had this conversation, and it wasn't even what she said. It was what she was being and the two of us being together that opened this door for me. And as soon as it opened, I just went, oh, there's everything I've been aware of. knowing all of these choices became available instantaneously, and I was just like, what?
Yeah. I just had that kind of experience today, just before this live. I was talking with a facilitator friend. I'm like, something here I don't quite get is she said something wasn't exactly related. And then it's like, yes.
Aha, there it is. There's the magic sauce.
And I love that you brought the 4 questions. Those questions are in the foundation class. And that's where, because to me, when I did my first foundation, I could not get so many tools. I was like, oh my God, my life is going to change so much, because you get so excited with the tools and with the questions, because more is possible. And then the more you are there in that class, the more you are looking at those tools, and then you bring to your life and start using like you did. And you had this awareness and you had that change in use of tool. That to me is the gift of being classes like the foundation.
Yeah. Hey, totally. And I have so many people ask me like, oh, what tools do you use with this? I ask a question. I literally tell people I use the tools that are in the bars manual every day. That's the tools I use. I ask a question. I notice when something's, when I have a point of view about something, and I, get present and pock and pod that. And, they're the tools I use. I ask, how does it get any better than this when anything shows up? To the best of my ability, I'm like, okay, what else is possible here? Not this isn't working. It is that. But so I want to ask you guys another question. Has there ever, you've both been facilitating foundation classes for a while now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So has there ever been any thing in that class that you have like, that is, you've really wanted to avoid facilitating?
Yeah. You first, Satu.
Yeah, because you're good with it, so you got to go first.
Go on, Satu, tell us.
Well, I'll go. I'll go first. Okay. I'll be a gentleman. I like the stuff with walk-ins and entities and stuff like that. I was just like, shut no. And I would wait until people were like so like fried or doing a body process or something, and then it'd be like, okay, entities and walk-ins. All right, that's done. Any questions? No, good.
Yeah, same entities, walk-ins at the beginning. I was like, oh dear. And it was the most sort of, the questions went towards there a lot. I don't know if you noticed that, Brendon, when you avoid something in those classes.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no. So yeah, to me it was entities as well.
It's so funny because that's my like favorite, but I'm a talk to the entities facilitator too. But even like at the first foundation class that I took, I got most out of especially the walkings topic. So I do hope that all facilitators facilitated.
Yeah. Well, it's like what I realized was the reason I was avoiding it was because I had so much awareness of it, But the real reason, the big one that I was avoiding it was because I knew when I'd stop avoiding it, it was actually going to open a door to the thing I was actually desiring, which was more of me. And it's like, but I've so learned that over the years. It's like, I will say this for anyone listening is resist anything and everything as long as you need to resist it, because eventually you won't. But it's like what I've learned over the years is that energy, that there is something dynamic in it for me, which is why I'm resisting it.
Yeah. Like I was saying, when I was at the first foundation class and we did the body poses, and I was so like, and especially with that one person that I didn't even know. And I was like, no. And then I was like, if it's such a like strong no, maybe it should be a yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have to say, I don't really remember ever having a thing in a foundation that I like resisted talking about. But I do have a very funny thing about like some years ago, there was a lot more about sex in the manual. And I did my first foundation so that my mom was one of the participants. And then I was like, okay, so we'll talk about this topic. And they were doing a body process at the time. And we had one of those body processes where you ask the body, where do you put the hands?
Uh-huh.
And my mom was receiving. And this person who was running the process, the moment I said that, so this is the next topic, she put her hands over my mom's ears. And then I was like, seriously? Like the body asked you to move the hands there right now? I was like, this is big. I'm like, is it me?
Yeah, the body was definitely asking.
I was like, are you serious? It was really funny. So I'm like, was it me? Is it her? I don't know. Or maybe it was the person who was running the process. She's like, mom, daughter, no, we're not having this conversation.
Yeah, isn't it interesting though? But it's like we've all got so many of those things where it's like, I mean, sex was actually a big topic for me over the years. I had so much twisted up stuff in my world with regards to that, and I really I had the point of view that I can't talk to anyone about this. Like there's nowhere to open up and have a conversation because I didn't see anyone in the world actually being vulnerable with it. And then in having that be something that also is something that we can open up and have a conversation about. If you're willing to be vulnerable with yourself, there's nothing that is too big a conversation to have if you have people in your life that you can actually have it with. And I want to say that as a facilitator, in knowing both of you as facilitators, that it's like we do our best to be those people, you know, like without, that can sound like a, you know, wank or whatever, but I say that because I truly do desire to be that as a facilitator. That's what I desire to be. But I got that from my first facilitator of foundation. I know, and I still know to this day, I still know the facilitator. I know there is nothing that I would have brought up that she would have judged me for.
It's very cool. Yeah, definitely. I wish that I am there, and I know I am, and the people can be in the energy of, you can bring any questions here. This is the time, you know, and have that space where we can be vulnerable, you know, while facilitating, and have that space of people having their vulnerability also being available for them, because it's, you know, sometimes people are not used to have that space. So the more we can be there, I guess the more we will have that facilitation the way that we want to create more in the world.
Yeah.
That for me.
Hey, my point of view is I've done more stupid shit than anyone else. So I'm like, you know, I'm good. You don't have to worry about me judging you for it because I've already been there and judged myself for it. Okay. I've had that too much for myself. So, anything else you guys want to add as an invitation for people to, you've had the bars. Okay. That's amazing. Now, what's it going to take for you to get that cute little butt of yours to something like foundation?
I was just recently talking with somebody who took her first foundation a couple of years ago, and we were talking about like what did she get out of it, and she was saying exactly that. You know, you take the bars class, and there are all these tools there, but you don't really quite get how does it actually work. Because like you said, like those are the tools that we use the most.
Yeah.
In foundation, you'll get how it works and how you can use it, because we all can also use it in a different way. And that's the cool thing with these classes, that it isn't like we'll give you an answer how to do it. We'll be there with you while you explore it, and you'll find your way of using these tools in your life for you. So I would say that'd be my invitation to foundation.
That's awesome.
I love that too. And also the foundation is like this step for what's next as well, isn't it? So people often come to Access like, I want to be in a class with Gary, with Dane, with Simone, and so you get your foundation and then you're what's next? You can choose the more advanced classes and keep up with the change and have more of that adventure of what it is with Access Consciousness.
Hey, that's what I did. I was just like, oh my God, how do I get to meet this man, Gary Douglas? And I was like, okay, I got to get to this foundation class. Okay, I can do that, But
all of my foundation classes, I have someone like that. Someone's coming.
Really?
I'm doing the foundation because I want to do a class with Dane or Gary.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
It's amazing.
That's cool. Well, hey, speaking of Gary and Dane, coming up in, I don't know, 2 months, we have the global foundation class. That is, you can either come live to the class in Prague, or you can join live stream from anywhere in the world. This is an annual event. This is basically the only foundation class that the both of them facilitate, and it's awesome. So check that out too if that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
And I adore you both. Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you, Brendon.
Thank you for having us. That was fun.
Thank you. And see you guys later. See you next week. Same time, same station.
See you at Foundation.
See you at Foundation.
See you at Foundation. Bye.